Hello and welcome to Quarterlight, your car brochure channel, and in today's Ford Friday, it's the Ford Capri II. Hello and welcome back. So, Quarterlight, what are we? We're a car brochure channel here on YouTube, looking at car brochures from around the world for the 60s, 70s, 80s and 90s, sometimes beyond that as well. So if you're interested in cars and car brochures, please consider subscribing. Anyway, today's Friday, we call it Ford Friday, where we look at a Ford every Friday. And just recently we've been looking at the December 1975 Ford brochure in a bit of a run up to Christmas. Which Ford shall we buy for Christmas 1975? Anyway, we're up to the Ford Capri, which will be the Mark II Ford Capri. So let's dive straight in and have a look at that now. And here is the brochure, Ford Cars All Model Catalogue, December 1975, a very Christmassy front covering, talking about make it a value for money Christmas, but with Ford, and you'll see all the way through this brochure it's talking about value for money. We're going to jump to our next episode. We looked at this, the Mark III facelifted Cortina last week, so now it's the turn of the Ford Capri 1975. That'll make it the Mark II Ford Capri. So let's have a look at that now. So here it is, so the Ford Capri II, as they called it this time, a very special car at a special value for money price. What we'll do, we'll turn the page and let's see the first model. So here it is, the Capri II 1300, not even an L, and your L model. A few little extras, but this is certainly a very unusual model. We'll start by looking at the images first, and then we'll have a look at some of this text just to see what these base models had. So here's where the range for the Capri Mark II started. The 1300, not even an L. This is a very weird picture of this, and you often find this, the very base models are very much tucked away and forgotten about. This is the only image in this particular brochure of the base model, and I think it's very much a picture that's been doctored somewhat. The wheels don't look quite right. Yeah, they had these centre chrome caps, but these look like they've been coloured in afterwards. In fact, the whole car looks like it's just been superimposed on this background. So I do have a better picture of the base model in the 76 brochure, so let's have a look at that. So in this picture, much more realistic image of that base model Capri. And with the base model, you got these black bumpers rather than chrome bumpers, and even the surrounds here, I think you got a little bit of chrome or a bit of bright work even on the L, but not on this one. Right down to the door handles being black. And like I say, these unusual little wheel trims, so just very plain wheels with a centre chrome cap in the middle. This was a very base model, and I wonder how many of these very base models are around. You probably can't make it out, but this little black badge just says 1.3 on it. And again, this is a bit more of a realistic image of the side of the vehicle, showing off those unusual wheels with these centre chrome wheel caps, and like I say, no bright work, all black where you would normally say bright work on the higher models. Also interestingly, you notice it's coloured right down to the bottom. All the other models actually had sort of like a black rocker at the bottom here, but this is coloured right to the bottom. And those who remember watching last week's episode for the Ford Cortina, notice the base model had black at the bottom here, and all the other models had colour to the bottom. This is the opposite way around, weirdly. Colour always to the ground. Other models, higher models, black at the bottom there. And again, you can just about make out that little 1.3 badge. So back to our 75 brochure, and like I said, this weird doctored basic, not even an L 1300. And then next on we do get the L, so a bit more extras. You can see it side by side. You get these nice chrome bumpers with a bit of a rubber strip in there. Little bit of a side tape stripe there as well, and hard to notice, but there is a bit of bright chrome work around the windows too. Much nicer, sort of sportier wheels on there, and of course a hatchback now. Mark II is a hatchback, a much more practical car. And I think it's quite sad really that the Mark II Capri is very much a forgotten car, but it really was a step up from the Mark I, and then the Mark III, which a lot of people go on about today, was what you almost struggle to call it a Mark III. It was only very much a little bit of an update from the Mark II really. So it's sad that the Mark II really gets forgotten about. You'll also notice here that this is a split fold rear seat on the L. The base model just had one seat that folded down, so again a more practical vehicle, the L. At the top here, a little bit of a side shot of the L model. Notice also the dashboard. We got sort of like a wood veneer, fake wood type deal going on here. No rev counter, but a bit of wood, which is unusual for just the L model. The base model didn't get that wood. And then a little bit of a look at that interior. So it starts by saying Capri II 1300 and Capri II L, cars with a personality of their own, beautiful value for money. And then this is very wordy, so I'm not going to read it all, but it starts by saying the Capri II 1300 comes fully equipped with servo-assisted brakes, fabric trim, black exterior trim, hazard warning flashes, heated rear window, black loop pile carpet, and so much more. That's Ford value for money. Then he starts talking about the body and tells you can only have this as a 1300. Very much a tiny little engine for such a big car really, and certainly when you pulled that bonnet up, you know, tiny little engine would be there to greet you. A little bit more information about the exterior and the interior. Again, I'm not going to go through all that, but if you wanted to, you could pause the screen. I'm sure you'd be able to read that straight from the screen. And then a continuation of what's on that very base model, or probably more correctly, what's not on that very base model. Very lowly model, and I'm sure most people would have moved up to the L. And indeed, as some people point out on these videos, the base model was actually a hard model to actually get. Rarely seen in the dealership. Usually he was greeted by the L, so obviously that was a better seller. So the base models are usually quite rare cars today. And you know, if you saw them side by side, you'd probably pick the L and just spend that little bit more money. But of course, the base model was that value for money model, the model that could say the Capri starts at, and they could, you know, publish a lower starting price, of course. So it tells you here, this is also a 1300, or you could have it as a 1600, which again makes more sense to have this vehicle as at least a 1600 really. You notice it says the body has the 1300, but with effective luggage capacity. It's just telling you, you know, you could fold half the seats down in this model rather than the full back seat as the base model. And it says exterior equipment. This is pretty much everything it's got above that base model, which is most things. I think we've pointed them out already. Bright bumpers with rubber inserts, bright mouldings on side and rear quarter windows, door mounted driver's door mirror. Oh, that's one thing we forgot to mention. We do get a door mounted driver's mirror on the L. No mirrors, no door mirrors at all on that base model, remember. L badging, sports road wheels, and black rocker panel, which we had a look at as well. Then the interior equipment, everything that the base model has got, plus we've got wood effect instrument surrounds, black loop pile carpet, fully reclining front bucket seats, slide mounted with anti-tip device, and split squab folding rear seats. Then we turn the page and we're greeted by the next model up, the Capri II GL, for people who love a little extra luxury, luxurious value for money. So let's start by looking at the text this time, I think. So the GL comes fully equipped with the split squad folding rear seats, body side mouldings, reclining front seats, console with clock, tailgate wash wipe now, halogen headlamps, driver's door, mirror, sports road wheels, inertia reel, seat belts and so much more. So I guess one of the big jumps here, you can have it as a 1600 again, but now you can have it as a 2 litre, so a much larger engine. It says exterior equipment. Above that very base model, it's telling you you've got bright bumpers, black inserts, black painted rocker panels, body side mouldings, bright mouldings on side and rear quarter windows in lieu of the black treatment, halogen headlamps, door mounted driver's mirror, sports road wheels, GL badging. And the interior equipment is also there, telling us what's above that base model, so things like extra sound insulation, of course, those rear tailgate washer wiper. So really when you read the text, it doesn't sound like it's got very much above that L model, but you know, there are extra things on there. You've got these extra sort of door rubbing strips on there. And then if we look at the interior, still looks very basic to be fair, but you know, we got things like a clock there. Yeah, it doesn't sound much, does it? I think it's certainly overall a much better model though. We do get that rear wash wipe, and we do see this sort of extra black treatment on the rear there as well. I think this has to be my favourite Mark II Capri though, the Capri S. It says here, top priority, powerful performance, high performance, value for money now. I think I'm going to start with the pictures because they're really quite nice actually. Zooming on the small picture, and this kind of like very much reminds me of you remember the John Player special they came out with, which was black and gold. This kind of reminds me a bit of that, with the gold stripes. Of course no gold wheels, but I think it looks nice with this black and gold looking treatment. The seats do also look very nice as well. So main picture now, and yeah, it looks really nice. I certainly think this is the most attractive of the Mark II Capris, both being the S spec, and this black with the gold treatment looks really nice. S badging on the side. Looks like this particular example is a 2 litre, but you could have it as a 1600, a 2 litre, or even a 3 litre V6 if you wanted. Chrome door handles, but we've kind of like gone back to the base model with the black bumper treatment on there, black surrounds, although we have got not just a driver's door mirror, but we've also got a passenger door mirror as well. All the fancy stuff for mid-70s that. I also think the interior looks really nice as well, with these 2 colour seats on there and all of the dials. So the S I think is a big step up, fully equipped with alloy wheels, black door mounted mirrors, head restraints, sports steering wheel, revised suspension, all black instrument cluster, fabric trim seat inserts and so much more. Again, it's got those split folding rear seats and the engine choices, so your 1600 GT, your 2000 GT or your 3000 V6 GT engine, all with twin choke Weber carburetor. So it tells you exteriorly all the same as that base model, but we've got rubber bumper inserts now, alloy road wheels. Alloy wheels are certainly a big step up, and twin black door mounted mirrors. Those body side tape stripes, black painted rocker panel, S badging, 2 rectangular halogen headlamps with integral side lights, revised suspension, and it tells you about the tyre choices on the 3 litre models. And then a great list of interior options there as well. I'll just pick a few things out. What have we got on there? Head restraints, of course, 3-sport black vinyl covered steering wheel, perforated headlining, black soft feel vinyl fascia, Black instrument panels including tachometer, trip recorder, separate fuel and temperature gauges, oil pressure gauge and ammeter, dual tone horns, automatic choke, electrically operated tailgate wash wipe, power steering on the 3 litre model. So all the good stuff there. It does have a little bit of a clause on there saying those chrome handles aren't on the S model anymore, they're now black. But overall, I think this is a real reminder that the S particular really shows us that the Mark II Ford Capri really shouldn't be a forgotten Capri. And then we get the top of the range model, the Ghia, the car you aspired to own, although I think the S model kind of like suits the Capri a bit better than the Ghia, but certainly some nice little images which we'll certainly have a look at. Again, it tells us power steering is standard on the 3 litre model. So there is the Ghia interior with these head restraints and like moulded into the seats, so interesting sort of seats for sure. And then we get these small little images of these Capri gears in sort of a metallic blue colour. Interesting sort of wheels on these, aren't they? And I guess it's probably a 3 litre this one, twin exhaust at the back. We do get these chrome bumpers now with these overriders, and we get this vinyl trim on the roof area. We also looks like we get a sunroof in that vinyl roof as well. And then one more image of this particular example, and then a slightly better image, a larger image in the 76 brochure, so I've zoomed that one in, although in reality it's this same picture that they've actually changed the colour to silver. Exactly the same image. At least this large image is easy to zoom in on these interesting wheels, and of course the 3 litre badge and the Ghia badge. Nicely shows this sort of chrome treatment around the windows and those opening rear quarter panels. So the Ghia comes fully equipped with a sunshine roof, overriders, remote controlled door mirrors, tinted glass all round, colour keyed cut panel carpet, integrated head restraints, quality fabric trim, push button radio, vinyl roof, and so much more. It does actually just say on there remote controlled door mirror. It doesn't mention 2 door mirrors, and if we zoom back to the image, it does look like we're back to just having a driver's door mirror there. It is in that bright chrome type shiny finish, but only one. So the S had 2, didn't it? So it's unusual to drop it for the Ghia. And then engines, apologies for a little bit of a mark on the brochure there, but that is saying a 2000 GT or a 3000 V6 GT, both with twin choke Weber carburetors. So the Capri Ghia has the following exterior equipment over that base model: vinyl roof, colour matched body side mouldings including vinyl protective inserts, lightweight alloy wheels, different sizes, whether you pick the 3 litre or the 2 litre, opening rear quarter vents, manually operated sunshine roof with tilting device, overriders, remote controlled door mounted mirror, tinted glass all round, black rocker panel with black panel, 2 rectangular halogen headlights with integral side lights, Ghia badging, bright trim on window surrounds in lieu of black. And then the interior equipment: cut panel carpet, lower door panels, backs of rear seats and load compartments, reclining front bucket seats, slide mounted with anti-tip device, split squab folding rear seats, integral head restraints, colour keyed Rialto fabric trim, upholstery on all on door panels and rear quarter panels, brake system warning light, 2 load compartment lights, centre console with clock, locking glove box with light, push button radio, a leather covered steering wheel, automatic choke, electrically operated tailgate washer wiper, additional sound insulation, power steering on the 3 litre, and then inertia reel seat belts to drivers and front passenger seats. So that is the full range of the Mark II Capris in 75. So that takes us to the Capri Mark II specifications. So transmission, 4-speed manual gearbox with synchromesh on all forward gears. Steering is rack and pinion. And then brakes, discs at the front, drums at the rear. Suspension, front is independent McPherson struts with anti-roll bar, rear is semi-elliptical leaf springs, unfortunately. So engine choices, yeah, we've got the 1300, 1600, in fact two 1600s shown there. So 1298cc and 1593cc. So that very small 1300 there, 0 to 60 in a very slow 18.7 seconds, top speed of 90 miles per hour. The standard 1600 does the 0 to 60 in 14.2 seconds, maximum speed of 97, and the 1600 GT model is 0 to 60 in 11.9 seconds, top speed of 104. And then that takes us up to the bigger engines, so the 2 litre 1998cc does that 0 to 60 dash in 10.5 seconds, top speed of 108 miles per hour, and the big boy, the 3 litre 2994cc V6 engine does that 0 to 60 in a very respectable 8.2 seconds for mid-70s, top speed again a very respectable 121 miles per hour, which is certainly very respectable in the mid-70s. And then of course we do get options. The blue square is something that's optional, and then strangely the open square, the white square, is actually a standard on these. So you can see various different things. You can even have an automatic, as long as you didn't pick that 1300 as an option. Sports road wheels, push button radio. The only one that was the push button radio was standard on was that Ghia, amazingly enough. Tailgate wash wipe, tinted glass, head restraints, halogen headlamps, metallic paint of course was an option on them all. Opening rear quarter panel was an option on the L, GL and the S, standard on the Ghia, not even available on that base model. Sliding roof, remote controlled driver's door mirror, load compartment cover, etc, etc. Interesting, it's also showing black body colour, an option on just the S. That's unusual. Then we do have this little diagram at the option, just confirming the seats. So the very base model, just one back seat which you could fold down. All the other models you had that split fold rear seat. So there we go, the Mark II Ford Capri for 1975. I wonder which model you would pick. I would definitely go for that S, and certainly a 3 litre S would be very nice in black with that gold. Thank you so much for watching today. If you remember these cars, of course, jot them in the comments. Thank you for watching. Hope your run up to Christmas is going well and you're not too busy, and we'll see you very soon. Of course, have a great weekend. Tomorrow we will have a special edition model to have a look at though. All the best. Take care and goodbye.